I'm a bird, mother. I'm a bird.
Dragon Age writers attack gamers critical of their woke agenda. Of course they do. Honestly, by this point, it's a clockwork.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to be once again talking about Dragon Age Veilguard. This game is less than 2 weeks away from release, and now we have some of the data regarding its pre-order sales, and spoiler alert, they are quite atrocious. And complicating things even further, as we'll see in this video, is a series of rants by some of the Dragon Age writers, both...
Yeah, we already saw the pre-sales, we talked about the pre-sales. They're not looking good, and the only reason they're going up the rank on Steam is because the games that were above have already released.
Former and present writers for Dragon Age who had what's essentially a projection-fueled communal therapy session on Blue Sky where they were complaining about gamers who won't accept the fact that Dragon Age is woke. Now, why are a lot of people calling Dragon Age woke? Well, it's from a series of criticisms, mostly having to do with the character.
What is that? It's Mr. Forehead again.
Every time I see this, a little part of me dies. So when you're creating the design of the character, and you're looking at this, what mindset do you need to have to go, oh yeah, that's hot, that's hot?
That's mewing 24/7.
Oh god.
Creation process in this game. A lot of people, number one, are not buying the fact that they claim these are incredible designs. A lot of people think they're quite bad. On top of that, you can have non-binary pronouns and also add top surgery scars to your character. And a lot of people are just looking at the direction of Dragon Age over the years, and they're asking what happened.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Not gonna lie.
Very weird.
But hey, at least one thing's consistent. The first image doesn't have bees either. I'ma shut up.
Happened to this franchise? Well, we have some answers coming from David Guider here, who is a former writer for Dragon Age. They say, no, Dragon Age has not become woke. It was always woke. So they made...
Workshop tried to do the same thing with the female custodians.
Games Workshop? Yeah, they did.
This Blue Sky post about a month ago saying this. Apparently the usual suspects are upset at how woke the new Dragon Age is, and apparently sudden and unexpected development in the series, effing tourists. Now, I don't know about that one, Davey. Calling potential customers tourists because they dare to criticize your game is not an amazing strategy, nor is saying that your game is woke and it's always been a woke franchise. Like, this is 2024. You don't want to be calling your games woke.
Yeah.
We see how that's worked out for other companies, and it ends really badly. But this isn't the only thing David's been saying on Blue Sky. A lot of people in the gaming industry are...
There's two for sure end sentences for the games. If you call it woke or if you say it's for the modern audience, you automatically just make sure that the game will never be a success.
Shifting over to Blue Sky. It's like a Twitter alternative for them, and it's kind of an echo chamber. It's very liberal, and a lot of people in the gaming industry are finding their home here, and so has David, and he's been making a lot of various posts there. We can see Mark Kern captured some of these. This is the one that's getting a lot of attention from 2 days ago. David, this former Dragon Age writer, would say this, in quotes, "The females aren't hot enough," end quote. Yet because they've clued into the notion this is obviously incel behavior, they've swapped out unattractive for masculine and thus transgender, because that's a framing which makes them seem political instead of porn-brained. But we...
Let me get this straight. If you're a particular build, whoever finds you attractive is porn-brained. And if you look like it, by default, is that making them look porn-built? Where is he going with that logic?
This person has some screws loose and is projecting very hard.
I actually don't have any idea what you're talking about. This is a bunch of nonsense, but basically what this person is doing is a lot of projection. We'll see a lot of projection throughout these various posts, and they start by saying everyone who's doing this is an incel, right? The classic, everyone who disagrees with me is an incel. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm a happily married man and I don't like the designs. It's really that simple. Like, you're allowed to say a design doesn't look good, and all of this coping in the replies here, they're trying to make this something.
you could do that. But maybe you shouldn't be working on games like that then, because there's such a thing as good marketing. And part of good marketing for games is good character design.
Something bigger than it is. People just don't like the designs and also all the other woke aspects of this game. They're completely ridiculous, and it only appeals to people in the gaming industry who are incredibly woke and they want to put this stuff into their games for whatever agenda they're trying to push. But anyways, the conversation continues on with this user saying it's ridiculous because every female character in Dragon Age is gorgeous except for Sister Patrice. They're just mad they aren't white, which is a very interesting claim. I haven't seen anyone complaining.
White? They're just mad they aren't white? That's a new one. That's a new one. I'll give them that one. A for effort.
That's originality right there, I guess.
About whatever they're referring to here. But anyways, David would respond saying, when your idea of beauty is framed solely by porn you watch and the anime you prefer, then no, they aren't. Not to them.
Wait. When your idea of beauty is framed solely by the porn you watch and the anime you prefer, then no. Oh dear God. You heard it here, guys. If you like big boobs, it just you get brainwashed by porn.
We pine for the days when every female character existed to be beautiful and wonder what could have changed. The world changed, dude. And then that user responds by saying, this is why on projects I've always encouraged teams to just go for it when it comes to representation. The worst people in the world are going to complain just as hard if you have a single person of color or a whole diverse cast, so you might as well do it right.
Let me break it down this way. This is not a diverse cast. If you're removing literally entire body types, this is not diverse.
It's literally the opposite of diverse.
I don't know who this person is, but this idea that a game is made right if it has a certain number of diverse characters in it, that is a pretty concerning and odd thing for them to say. But anyways, back to what David's saying, it's a whole lot of projection, right? Again, they're talking about the porn people watching and anime causing issues. Like, they have a big issue with anime. But what they're saying right here, trying to make all of these critics look like a bunch of deviants, is projection. Because this is the kind of stuff that goes on at BioWare, right? You can see this headline, a very real one. Baldur's Gate 3 sex noise specialist leads Dragon Age the Veil Guard.
What?
Oh, why do you need to hire a sex noise specialist? What are you doing?
That's Baldur's Gate 3? What?
Cast, and BioWare has revealed the voice cast for Dragon Age the Veilguard, which will feature 4 voice options for the protagonist. So yeah, definitely once again projection, but the conversation continues on where he recalls an event from 10 years ago where another member of the Dragon Age narrative team, this trick person, would come with this.
Okay, sorry, I'm still on that. What the fuck is a sex noise specialist? Sex noise specialist job description typically involves providing specialized audio services for media productions, particularly in creating realistic or thematic vocalization for intimate scenes. This role requires expertise in sound design, voice acting, and possibly script consultation to ensure authenticity and artistic direction. Okay, so basically they decide when to say group it harder.
This reply saying, which came after them complaining that none of the women in Dragon Age 2 were up to their standards either, where another user says, Meryl or Isabella weren't up to their standards. I damn near had an existential crisis choosing between the two. I mean, what the hell did they want? A bit gobsmacked hearing this. And then David responds saying, Meryl had small boobs. I don't know why they say it like that. And thus too boyish. When the dude finally posted examples of what he thought a real female should look like, they were all waifish, winsome anime girls, unsurprising, honestly. So again, projecting about anime, he's very angry about anime. Honestly, at this point, I think I know why this dude left Twitter. Like, he probably got ratioed by some anon with a anime profile picture, and it just drove him insane. So now he's going over to Blue Sky to cope and seethe every day about anime, but another user responds.
Wait. And here I am recalling how this has been a thing ever since some dude whined 10 years ago about Cassandra actually being a man. Posting over and over and over about her giant jaw and posting pics to scientifically prove why his pee-pee remained flaccid. Okay? The fact that it's rent-free in your head for 10 years is kind of weird.
By saying, whenever I see someone's do-over for an unattractive collection of pixels, that's what they all want. Big boobs, tiny pointy chin, big eyes, so boring. And then David says, exactly, the industry as a whole has shifted its priority on the depiction of women from appealing to interesting. Oh, Reddit's gonna love that. A shift from appealing to interesting women. Okay. So highbrow.
What?
He goes on to say that's growth, and their notion that game artists are only reluctantly doing this because woke devs are standing behind them scowling and scolding is both funny and revealing. And like I said earlier, this person up here is also someone who is on the narrative team for Dragon Age, but I took time to show you guys Blue Sky. I think there's definitely something very interesting to be found here with Blue Sky, because a lot of people from the gaming industry have shifted over to Blue Sky over the past couple of months, and they're living in a complete echo chamber right now, and unchecked.
So it's like Twitter, but for game devs?
But yes, I heard of people moving there, but it's usually the people who are living in their own echo chamber.
Echo chamber, okay? They don't expect their post to be read by their critics, because their critics largely aren't over there. And honestly, people, including myself, have to do a better job checking out these various off-platform accounts, because right now, as we see with these various examples we looked at today, these people are completely masked off. They don't think they're being checked. They don't think their posts are going to be checked by anyone who is their critics. So they feel very emboldened to say whatever they want. Just go mask off about their customers, about their games, and what have you. And scrolling through some of the accounts that we featured today, I mean, you can see that they're just totally open about their politics, like way more than anything you would ever see on Twitter. Like 90% of their timeline is their own political views, and they've really just completely interwoven their business accounts with their own personal political views. And again,
because they always do that. I don't understand why people who work in specific industries, so they would require a social media account, right? Why do you post personal crap on your account where you are interacting with customers?
Again, it's unchecked over there, so you can learn a lot by checking out any of these members of the gaming industry who have a Blue Sky account, because like I said, they're just unchecked and they don't expect anyone to be taking a look into their echo chamber. But anyways, it probably doesn't surprise you at this point, given everything we've talked about, that the pre-orders for this game are looking very grim. So you can see the headline from That Park Place saying, Dragon Age The Veilguard retail pre-orders 3 times less than Star Wars Outlaws and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So here's the thing, obviously in-person pre-orders are not as anywhere near as popular as they used to be, right? But they do offer a pretty good look into how the digital sales are going to be. Because if there's no excitement over the actual retail pre-orders, there's probably not any excitement for the digital orders either. You can kind of just use it as a scale, right, to predict how much digital copies are going to be out there, and it's looking really bad. So according to Craig here, and his predictions and his insider info with this retail insider have been very accurate in the past. He says this time, my retail insider says physical copies are not better. Between the gold and standard options in their 800 plus stores, they have just under 2,000 pre-orders between PS5 and Xbox. So think about that. We're less than 2 weeks away from the release of this game, and there's about just over 2 pre-orders per store. I mean, this isn't Dustborn, right? This is a very big project. This is supposed to be a big explosion on the scene this year, and Dragon Age Veilguard is just not living up to it right now. On top of that, this was the post that they were referring to. The wish-listed games right now on Steam, Dragon Age, the Veilguard is at 28. Again, if this was just some random indie game, that would be okay.
Yeah, but them being on the 28th might look somewhat, some people will be like, oh, at least they're, higher than they were like just a couple of weeks ago. But again, the games that were above this game came out.
Okay, but for this, with less than 2 weeks to go, is a very concerning number for BioWare. But anyways, you also saw the reference to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. This game is killing it with 3 million copies sold in just 24 hours. I mean, people are going crazy over that, but that's another reference for how much people are purchasing this game versus some of the pre-order sales for Dragon Age Veilguard. But as you can tell, things are a bit rocky over there, and really, it's these developers and these writers who are just making things worse and worse. They feel compelled to go mask off, and it really just muddies the water. If you have already a product that's being criticized for its quality,
I don't understand. Like, so what is the end goal? So by this point, you've seen multiple games come out with the same tactic of, you know, word diarrhea online, and you saw all those projects, not even just games, movies as well, just flop. So you see all of that, and your brain goes, yes, let me get some of that.
adding on top of that your obnoxious views and your disdain for gamers and people who are your critics, it's not good. It's not helping. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, Dragon Age, I feel like it might do like around the same numbers as Star Wars did, and Star Wars didn't really do that well.